Two championship games highlight this edition of USL Breakaway magazine, the show that gives you a front row seat to United Soccer Leagues, the largest elite soccer organization in North America. It's coming up next on Fox Soccer. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of USL Breakaway magazine. I'm your host, Ken Tomash. This time we're at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida, which is the host site for the 2011 USL Pro Championship match between the Orlando City Lions and Harrisburg City Islanders. USL Breakaway magazine is the show that takes you inside the league, and coming up over the next 30 minutes, we'll get you into the game with everything that's going on around USL. Here's what's coming up. 2 USL titles are on the line in this episode. In the Pacific Northwest, the Kitsap Pumas were looking for their first PDL title, but they would have to beat the Laredo Heat, who are no strangers to championship games. Here in the Sunshine State, the Lions are looking to cap off their tremendous first season in Orlando with a USL Pro Championship. But could they beat the Harrisburg City Islanders for a third time this year? Rochester was eliminated in the USL Pro semifinals, but it was another strong season on the bench by Rhinos head coach Bob Lilly. We'll get the USL Hall of Famer's thoughts on reaching 200 wins and his great success over the years. Speaking of Rochester, we hit the rewind button and look back at the Rhinos winning the league title in 2001 in our latest installment of Great Moments in USL History. While the USL Pro, W League, PDL, Super 20, and Super Y leagues wind down, the major indoor soccer league is revving up for another thrilling season. We'll take an in-depth look at North America's most storied and tradition-rich professional indoor soccer league. But before we get to all those stories, let's check in with Mike Clan for the latest news around United Soccer Leagues.
While much of the North American soccer community slows down during the fall and winter months, the MISL, the most storied and tradition-rich indoor soccer league in North America, is just warming up. In just a few weeks, the MISL 2011-2012 season will officially be underway as the Missouri Comets visit the Wichita Wings in the opener on November 3rd. We will hear from the senior director of the MISL later in the show. Make sure you visit MISL.com for the latest news and player signings from throughout the league. The 2011 Super Y League North American Finals, presented by Umbro, one of the top college recruiting events in the country, is set for December 2nd through the 6th in Tampa, Florida. Teams in the U12 to U17 age groups will qualify from their respective regions and compete for national titles. Participating clubs represent the youth academies of some of the top professional clubs in North America, including Major League Soccer's Chicago Fire and Columbus Crew. USL Pro clubs also field Super Y League teams, including the Richmond Kickers and Harrisburg City Islanders. The SYL North American Finals are presented by league partner Umbro. For more information, visit USLSYLfinals.com. Sun and sand will be on the agenda for the 2011 United Soccer League's annual general meeting. AGM will be hosted at the scenic Hyatt Regency Clearwater Beach from December 15th through the 18th. The event, which has been held in downtown Tampa for the past 6 years, draws hundreds of owners, executives, and coaches from USL's professional and amateur teams, as well as influential figures from national and international soccer organizations. Through the support of the Clearwater Parks and Recreation Department and the St. Petersburg Clearwater Sports Commission, the 2011 USL AGM will run in conjunction with USL's Major Beach Soccer National Championships, which will be held on Clearwater Beach December 17th and 18th. The MBS National Championships will bring 12 teams from throughout the U.S. that qualified through a series of 8 major beach soccer and soccer in the sand tournaments this summer. They will compete for titles on pristine Clearwater Beach, just steps from the Hyatt Regency Clearwater Beach and the USL AGM. In addition to the fast-paced beach soccer action, FIFA will conduct its first beach soccer seminar to be held on U.S. sand in conjunction with the MBS National Championships. For more information, visit MajorBeachSoccer.com.
We begin tonight with the PDL Championship on the line. The Kitsap Pumas had not lost at home all season, and if they could remain perfect at Bremerton Memorial Stadium, they'd capture their first PDL title. But standing in their way was the Laredo Heat, a team that knows quite a bit about playing in championship matches. Our Mike Clan has a recap of the PDL Championship.
64 teams started the year vying for our United Soccer League's PDL Championship. And after 3 months of fierce competition, the Kitsap Pumas and Laredo Heat were left standing. Playing in front of their home crowd in Bremerton, Washington, Kitsap came out strong, dominating the first 15 minutes. They forced the action as they pinned the Heat back in their own half. And then in the 11th minute, Laredo failed to clear its lines properly, and the Pumas pounced on the opportunity.
Kitsap has all the possession. Here's Friesen in the area. Tries to cut it back, ball is still loose. Friesen blocked. And possibly a chance here. Roll across the front. The first goal of the game goes to Kitsap.
Robbie Krishner scores the goal, but it was the work of Brian Burke that made it possible. Burke with a great move, and his terrific low cross was easily placed into the back of the net by Krishner from 6 yards out.
Just fell at my feet and I faked the shot. The guy jumped and Robbie was just right in the middle. I just gave him the ball and he was able to tap it in.
The Southern Conference champion Laredo Heat scored 35 goals in the regular season and 4 more goals in their semifinal win over Long Island. Perhaps the grind of the season had finally taken its toll as the Heat could not compose a steady attack and Kitsap took their 1-0 lead into halftime. In the second half, the defensive stalemate continued as neither side was able to mount much of an offensive challenge. With one last gasp, Laredo gave it everything they had in the last 5 minutes. They were playing in their 4th PDL final in the past 6 years, and they were not going to go down without a fight. Late in stoppage time, Gregory Malamba fired a missile toward the goal.
Laredo running out of time. Malamba, another goal off the post. Are you kidding me?
His shot was the best of the game by either side, but it hits off of the left post.
God bless the round goal post. I'll tell you what, once it hit and came back out, for me it's done. But my goodness, it was a great strike. It was his 3rd shot. His first 2 weren't that strong, and that last one was a rope. It was a laser, so we dodged a bullet.
Inches away from going into overtime. Instead, the final whistle would blow just moments later, giving the Kitsap Pumas their first ever PDL title.
As the Kitsap fans rush the field, what a championship moment as Kitsap Pumas are the 2011 PDL champs.
Several of the players returned to Kitsap this year with 1 goal, a championship, and the team delivers the goods.
It's awesome. It feels great. A lot of us came back this year for today. We came back with one idea in mind, and it was this game and this feeling right now.
Game MVP Brian Burke came up with a great time for his only assist of the season. The 11th minute goal from Robbie Krishner holds up, which was not a surprise as playing with a slim lead was old hat for Kitsap.
There's a bunch of guys on the team that came back this last year. There's last year playing, a bunch of them, and they just wanted to come and give it their all, and we're just happy we were able to put it in front of our fans, and they've been here for us all year, and we just gave it all we got.
Smiles all around in Bremerton, Washington, the home of the Kitsap Pumas, 2011 PDL champions.
Kitsap captain Daniel Scott said sacrifice and dedication were the key to Kitsap's success this year. Well, a man who knows quite a bit about winning is USL Hall of Fame coach Bob Lilly. He's been with several organizations, been a success everywhere he's been, and he has no plans to slow down. Few coaches in the history of USL have enjoyed the success of Hall of Famer Bob Lilly. With more than a decade of USL head coaching experience, Lilly's teams have never missed the postseason. Recently, Lilly won his 200th game as a coach.
I've been blessed. I've been in some good environments. I've coached some teams that for strong organizations, and I've had some very good players.
Lilly's first USL coaching assignment was in 1997 at Hershey, Pennsylvania, and his tremendous career has taken him to Montreal, Vancouver, Detroit, and Rochester. Back in '97, Lilly was Coach of the Year in his rookie season.
We were able to put some good teams together in Hershey, and I had some success early. Probably a lot to do with the organization being very strong there, and like to think that I've learned some things over the years.
In his 5 years at Hershey, Lilly's Wildcats won a conference championship and 3 division titles. He fondly remembers his final season with the Wildcats in 2001.
Probably one of my most enjoyable years was the last year in Hershey. That may have been the team that achieved the most. I mean, we lost in the final, but to Rochester, ironically, but it was a really enjoyable year because I think we maximized everything we could have, and that's what you're always trying to do, get the very best out of all your players and the team over the course of a year.
Following the 2001 season, Lilly moved north of the border and was appointed head coach of the Montreal Impact.
We have to play! Hey, there's a lot of time. Play
In his first season in Montreal, the team won the division title. The following year, Lilly was once again Coach of the Year, becoming just the third two-time Coach of the Year recipient in league history.
I had some very strong teams in Montreal that eventually went on and won some championships.
In 2004, Lilly joined Vancouver, where he would begin to assemble an incredibly talented unit. In 2006, he guided the Whitecaps to the USL Championship with a 3-0 victory over Rochester. It was Vancouver's first North American professional championship since 1979. They became the first USL top flight club to win the title on the road.
Probably the most talented all-around team that I had was the team in Vancouver in 2006. And I think in the playoffs we won the championship that year. We had 11 goals for and 1 against.
A year later, Lilly was in the Motor City of Detroit, coaching in the Major Indoor Soccer League. To no one's surprise, he was named the 2008 MISL Coach of the Year, but then was back outside with the Rochester Rhinos. Last year, Lilly became the 9th coach selected to the United Soccer League's Hall of Fame. But instead of talking about his own achievement, Lilly praised the league just for the opportunities it has provided him.
I just feel very fortunate again that the USL has put together, a very strong league and has really kept soccer in the conscious minds of people in the States. With, obviously MLS has been here since '96. I started coaching in '97, but to have a job and have a career these last 14 years or so wouldn't have happened without the USL and their ability to run a league.
But this Hall of Famer is not about to rest on his laurels. This season, he led the Rhinos to the USL Pro National Division regular season title.
I've had a lot of jobs that the expectation is to win, and I welcome that. I mean, I want to be where it matters. Rochester, certainly a city like that. That was the tone in Montreal. That was the tone in Vancouver, and we're obviously trying to win league titles or championships every year.
It's been a coaching career that has included championships and more than 200 victories and counting.
It's been rewarding, and hopefully it's going to be prolonged a little bit longer. I'm only 45, so I'm hoping I have a few more years left in me.
Over 200 wins and counting for Coach Bob Lilly. We'll be back with more on USL Breakaway Magazine after this.
There's nothing like seeing the beautiful game in stunning high definition. And there's nothing like watching the biggest new DVD releases on breathtaking Blu-ray. Bring home the best in home entertainment with the Sylvania HD LCD flat screen.
That is the way to do it!
And the outstanding Sylvania Blu-ray disc player. Available today at these stores.
If I were cheese, I wouldn't want to let go of myself either. Come try the cheese-inspired dishes on our 2468 value menu, only at Denny's.
The legendary New York Cosmos are back, and to mark the club's rebirth, Umbro has applied its celebrated football tailoring ethos to the brand new 2011 collection. Anthem jacket, Cosmos tees, New York Cosmos jersey, 1976-1977 home jersey. For the complete New York Cosmos line, go to soccer.com/Umbro.
This broadcast of Breakaway Magazine Show is being brought to you by USLsoccer.com. Need to check a match score, find out who's on top of the goal-scoring charts, or catch up on the latest news? You can do it all by logging on to USLsoccer.com, the league's official website. Umbro, true to soccer since 1924. For more information, visit umbro.com. Major Beach Soccer, the original beach soccer organization. Visit majorbeachsoccer.com to register your team today. This broadcast is authorized by United Soccer Leagues. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of United Soccer Leagues is strictly prohibited. Tonight's broadcast was produced for USL by Cultural Global Media Incorporated.
They're counting it down in Rochester, and the Rhinos are king.
The year was 1998, and it seemed like the Rochester Raging Rhinos were destined to win the A-League title. In the league that has developed into what is now USL Pro, Rochester dominated the competition in the regular season and outscored opponents 16-5 in the playoffs. In the finals against the Minnesota Thunder, it was the Darren Tilley show. In the 20th minute, he started off the scoring.
He's dispossessed. Where's Darren Tilley? The shot. The goal! Darren Tilley gives the Raging Rhinos the lead.
Just 3 minutes later, Tilley came calling again. Off the corner kick, Tilley would tap it in to give Rochester a 2-0 lead. They led 2-1 at half. The lone goal in the second half belonged to who else? The player of the game, Darren Tilley.
Jimmy Glenn, the shot, the save, rebound Tilley, he scores!
The 1998 title began a run of 4 straight league championship game appearances for the Rhinos. In 1999, Minnesota would get their revenge with a 2-1 win over Rochester in the championship. However, the Rhinos did win the prestigious Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup in 1999. In 2000, it was billed as Thunder Rhinos 3, as Minnesota and Rochester met again for the championship. The Raging Rhinos struck first as Martin Nash served a beautiful ball into the box, and Dan Stebbins headed it home in the 14th minute to put the Rhinos up 1-0. In the 38th minute, Rochester would find the back of the net again.
He scores! Yuri on that!
It was 2-0 at the half, and Onandi Lowe sealed it with a goal in the 78th minute. And just like in 1998, the Rhinos celebrated a 3-1 win over Minnesota. The Rhinos would hoist another trophy in 2001 after a 2-0 victory over Hershey. 3 titles in a 4-year span, plus a Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup victory. Complete dominance by the Rochester Rhinos.
Boy, what a run the Rhinos had between 1998 and 2001. Now we go from the outdoor game to the indoor game, and Mike Clan fills us in on the fiercely competitive, high-scoring action coming up in the Major Indoor Soccer League.
End-to-end action featuring multi-point scoring. There is never a dull moment during a major indoor soccer league game. United Soccer Leagues entered into an agreement with MISL last May to operate North America's most storied and tradition-rich professional indoor soccer league.
Something that we've preached all along, and that's family, affordable fun. I think the fans will really enjoy the brand of soccer. It'll be the highest level of indoor soccer in the country. Some of the best players not only in the country, North America, but the entire world. Family, affordable fun, a lot of high-scoring action. I think scores of 20-18. You'll see 2-point goals, 3-point goals. So we're really excited about our foray into indoor soccer.
Each game includes 4 15-minute quarters, and all goals scored are worth 2 points, except those goals scored on shot attempts from on or beyond the 45-foot arc surrounding the goal. Those are worth 3 points. The heart-pumping indoor action normally results in 60 shots and an average of 11 goals per game.
Headed in by Neto! Neto scores on the power play.
The fast-paced game is played on artificial turf on a hockey rink-sized field surrounded by dasher boards and plexiglass, with 8-foot-high by 14-foot-wide goals receded into the inboards. Creative dribbling, pinpoint passing, acrobatic goalkeeping, and rugged defensive play are all skills demonstrated by MISL players. The MISL represents the top level of professional indoor soccer in North America, and USL is thrilled to be involved in the game that appeals to sports fans around the world.
I think if you look at our footprint and our model, you see a level of soccer at each level, from W League, from the women's side, to the PDL, up to USL Pro. I think we want to create that same sort of pyramid system on the indoor side of soccer. And what better way to start than with the highest level of the sport in the MISL?
7 teams are set to compete in the upcoming 2011-12 MISL season, including the defending champion Milwaukee Wave. The new MISL has grown from 5 to 7 teams. Along with Milwaukee, the Missouri Comets and the Wichita Wings make up the Central Division. The Eastern Division consists of the Baltimore Blast, Norfolk Sharks, Rochester Lancers, and the Syracuse Silver Knights. The teams in the Eastern Division will measure themselves against traditional power Baltimore. The Blast have advanced to the playoffs 14 times in 18 years, and they have won 5 world championships. The MISL regular season will consist of 24 games, with teams playing a geographically balanced schedule heavily weighted toward teams in their division. The close proximity of some of the teams will create some intense battles between neighbors.
I think you'll see some natural geographic rivalries with the Rochesters and the Syracuse. Baltimore, who's been a staple in MISL, should have quite a rival in Norfolk. I think you'll see some old rivalries renewed with the Comets in Missouri and Kansas City with the Wichita Wings. Milwaukee's been around for many, many years. Baltimore, a storied franchise. So we're excited about all the upcoming rivalries this year in the MISL.
Believe it or not, the thrilling game of indoor soccer dates back as far as 1885, when a Canadian side faced a team from Newark, New Jersey in a series of games. By the 1920s, indoor leagues popped up in Boston and in New York, and by 1939, games were being played at famed Madison Square Garden. USL, originally launched in 1986, was founded as a regional indoor league devoted to providing players to the MISL. Indoor soccer had become more popular than the outdoor game. USL embraces the rich history of indoor soccer and has an eye on the future.
We've got great ownership groups in each market. I think we're going to try and build, expand upon that with quality groups that make sense geographically and make sense from an overall standpoint. So I think you'll see some slow, steady growth. Keep our franchises intact, make our franchises profitable, and we'll see what comes in the years to come.
The new era for the Major Indoor Soccer League kicks off November 3rd as the Wichita Wings will host the Missouri Comets. The MISL playoffs will begin with the semifinals March 9th through the 11th, featuring the top 2 teams from each division meeting in a home-and-home series with a mini-game to decide the series following the second game if needed. The championship will follow the same format beginning on March 16th.
The MISL kicks off its season in November. Now it's time to put some USL players on the spot.
Once I had my shirt ripped right off in the middle of a televised game. Kobe Jones, when he was playing for LA, tore it, right across and it fell off.
The match, probably around the high school days, I ran into one of my own field players and broke my nose.
I've made a career out of embarrassing moments. As a defender, anytime you score an own goal, never good.
I'd have to say when I was 17, I was playing in the state championship for my club team, and I took a shot from about 20 yards out and went just over the crossbar, and walking behind the goal was an old lady and her grandson, and he happened to duck, and it hit her in the side of the head and knocked her out. She broke her nose and she fell to the ground, and I guess it's pretty embarrassing at the time, and now I'm known for it on YouTube.
Back here at the Citrus Bowl, the Orlando City Lions were looking to win the USL Pro title in their first year in the league, but standing in their way, 2007 champs, the Harrisburg City Islanders.
This is Keith Tabatsnik in Orlando, Florida. It turned out to be one of the most exciting championships in USL history. More than 11,000 spectators flocked to the Citrus Bowl to see Orlando City host the Harrisburg City Islanders in the 2011 USL Pro finale. With a national audience watching on Fox Soccer, the championship game came alive in the second half. Despite playing down a man after Orlando City's Miguel Gallardo was shown a red card, after this play, 4 minutes after the halftime break, Orlando City continued to push men forward at every opportunity.
Watson, open net. Can Watson give him the lead? No!
But neither team could score until just shy of the 2 minutes remaining in regulation. In what appeared to be final moment dramatics, Orlando City's Lawrence Olam helped Orlando City finally find the net from 15 yards out, turning the Citrus Bowl crowd crazy as it appeared the home side would claim the title in heroic fashion. But Harrisburg made sure there was more. Well into the 5th minute of stoppage time, the end-of-game drama continued. Harrisburg threw everything forward in stoppage time, and off a 3rd consecutive corner, the City Islanders found their reward.
It's headed towards the goal and put in! The City Islanders have equalized! What a game!
JT Noon poked the ball past Orlando City keeper Sean Kelly, shocking the Lions, silencing the crowd, and forcing overtime. A stunning surprise turn of events soon saw the visiting Harrisburg side take the lead 5 minutes into overtime.
Back of the net, and oh my gosh, another goal.
Sandy Toure heads home a near post corner to give his side the lead for the first time in the match. The City Islanders almost added to their lead in the 110th minute, but Harrisburg, unable to score, kept the door open for host Orlando City. 5 minutes later, and just 4 minutes away from the end of overtime, another dramatic turn of events. Orlando City's Dennis Chin was brought down in the box, earning Harrisburg the red card and Orlando City a PK. Lewis Neal calmly slotted home the penalty kick, tying the match, stunning Harrisburg.
And 11,220 erupt.
Both sides had last-second overtime opportunities. This header by Harrisburg's Toure was just wide, and then Orlando City's Chin was denied by Harrisburg keeper Chase Harrison.
Shot and a save made by Harrison off the boot of Chin. He takes a man down.
This match would go to penalty kicks. After back-and-forth kicks, probably the most exciting championship in USL history, Orlando City's backup goalkeeper, Sean Kelly, proved to be the hero and the game's MVP.
Kelly stops him again!
As the Lions prevailed in PKs 3-2, following the 2-2 draw after overtime. A dramatic night and a memorable USL Pro Championship came to a close as Orlando City hoisted the trophy before a hometown crowd as the Lions turn another page in the USL history books. This is Keith Tabatsnik reporting from Orlando for USL Breakaway Magazine.
Well, that wraps up an incredible inaugural season for USL Pro and also another edition of USL Breakaway Magazine. I'm Ken Tomash. For everyone here, thanks so much for watching. We're going to leave you now with a look at some of the best goals from around USL from the last several weeks. For all the latest on USL, check out USLsoccer.com, and we'll see you next time. This has been Breakaway Magazine. Good night.